名実ともに俺たちは世界一の海賊団だ。
そうか。よーし。お願いだ。
One of the hardest things to discover about One Piece, even harder than knowing the secret of One Piece treasure, is Luffy dream. Why? Because we have to know the dream of someone who prefers meat to women, someone who doesn't care about being important, just cares about freedom. Yes, it's Monkey D. Luffy.
では、モンキー D. ルフィ、よろしく。
So I've seen a lot of theories on YouTube about Luffy dream, but every time I read these theories they are not connected with my standards. These standards are the basis for knowing Luffy dream. If you have a theory about Luffy dream, this video is the reference. So in this video we will first talk about the standards that you must know it to know Luffy dream. Then we see the theories spread on YouTube and compare them with the standards that we have. Then we will discover that they are all wrong. Oda is a genius who will make us confused in thinking, in order not to know the idea. And we always think that the subject is complex and difficult and needs philosophy, but in the end be very simple. I want you to click like for the video because it helps it reach more people, and share the video with your friends who have a theory about Luffy dream, in order to know if this theory was compatible with the standards or not.
あの声は、声？きっと真実。誰かが生まれる。
So what are our standards? One should relate to be the king of pirates and freedom. 2. It must be funny and at the same time great. 3. It must be something that, like a child dream, and not be subject to logic. 4. It should be interconnected with Roger and Joy Boy. 5. It has to be something that the world government doesn't want to happen.
退屈しねえな、この世界。面白くなってきた。
Now, why did I set these standards for number 1? It has to be about the Pirate King and freedom. Simply because Luffy from the beginning of the story says that he wants to become the Pirate King. So in order to make Luffy dream be true, he must be the Pirate King. If you have a theory and there is no such this standard, then it is wrong. Now, 2. It must be something funny, and at the same time great. Because in Oden Diary, he said that when he heard about Roger Dream he was amazed, but it was funny. So that Whitebeard said, it was a children's dream. So the dream must have good values and principles. If a child tells you that he wants to eat the clouds, you will say that he is just a child. But when you hear this from an old man, you will laugh and say that it is a children's dream. But to eat the clouds is funny. But there are no values in it, and we said that there must be values in this dream. Because the dream of Roger and Luffy made both Sabo and Oden laugh, and at the same time they were amazed. Number 3. It must be something that a child might think about and not subject to logic. Most importantly, that it is not subject to logic, because if there was logic in the dream, it would not be a children's dream. It must be something like Luffy, something stupid like Luffy, but it is funny. If you have a theory and it makes sense, please reconsider your theory. Now, 4. Must be connected with Roger and Joy Boy, as we know that Luffy is a copy of Roger, and they both inherited the will of the Joy Boy. So the dream must be something common between the character of Roger and Luffy. Yes, Luffy eats a lot and loves food, but Roger is not. As for the Joy Boy, I expect that he did not achieve his dream, because as we see in the Poneglyph's message in Fishman Island, he was apologizing and saying that he would return to fulfill his promise, his dream. There are a lot of theories about Luffy dream, and the owners of these theories do not tell us about the dream of the Joy Boy, because it is shared with Luffy. So in order to know the dream of Luffy, the dream must be something common to the 3, Luffy, Roger, and the Joy Boy. Number 5. It has to be something that the world government doesn't want to happen. As we know that Oda likes to connect the events of the story with each other, we initially think that the Last Island and the Treasure of One Piece and Luffy Dream and the Joy Boy are different things. But Oda shocks us in the end in the great interconnection between everything as if it really was One Piece. So as we know that the world government fought the Joy Boy and prevented him from realizing his dream, this dream that, if realized, would destroy the world government and the countries and destroy all racism and make their freedoms, but at the same time impossible. So the Joy Boy created the ancient weapons, Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus. These weapons were intended to do something impossible, something funny but great at the same time. I expect that some of you have come close to knowing Luffy Dream and feel that this dream is interconnected with all the standards that we have. I will tell you about Luffy Dream and who is the person who inspired Luffy to his dream. And if you think Shanks is who inspired Luffy, then you are wrong. Anyone, he did not agree with my theory to give me one reason why. This theory took weeks of my time trying to understand the brain of this person. I hope that if you like the theory so far that you subscribe to the channel and put a comment about whether my theory convinced you, yes or no, and why. There are some theories that say that Luffy Dream is to fulfill everyone's dreams. Firstly, this theory does not agree with the hour standards I set at the beginning of the section. Secondly, Luffy is a selfish person. He do everything to himself and his friends. Even Luffy, when you fight with Crocodile and Doflamingo, it was for his friends. I want to ask you a question, someone like Kaido who wants to rule the world, or someone like Teach, characters whose dreams are bad harm others, and Luffy is not a human who harms others. The second theory, which is very widespread, is that Luffy wants to party with all the pirates, eat meat, drink sake, and sing. But is this a children's dream? Or that dream makes Oden feel so amazed? That thing made Oden leaves the Whitebeard crew and goes with Roger, which doesn't make any sense. Now many of you are wondering what Luffy Dream is. I will tell you now. And as I said before, if my words do not convince you, tell me why, because I am someone who wants to get to the truth. Person who made Luffy think about his dream, and this person is Shanks' daughter Yuta. She told Luffy about her dream and told him that she was going to become a singer and she was going to build New Genesis. And then she told Luffy what your dream was. Let's see what Luffy told her.
なんだよ、あんたさ、すぐ海賊よーし、俺も作ろう、新時代。簡単に言わないでよね。あんたの新時代って、俺は世界中を冒険したい。いろんな場所に行っていろんな食い物食べたいんだ。シャンクスみたいに。
So like we heard from Luffy, that he likes to travel and be a pirate. But Yuta told him how it would affect the construction of New Genesis. Luffy told her he would think about it. But when Shanks came back, Yuta wasn't with him. So he didn't show up in what Luffy was thinking. And as we know, Shanks didn't take Luffy with him on the ship the first time. He didn't give him a straw hat. But after hearing Luffy dream, Shanks was amazed that it was the same words as Roger. So he decided to give him the straw hat. So Luffy's dream is related to pirates, traveling and trying all the food. But to be a more childish dream, Luffy thought that he should make the world as one piece, that is, one piece, and so it is easier for him to travel, and it makes it easier for all people to travel everywhere. But this is a childish dream and impossible to happen. But if you become the king of pirates, this means that all seas are under your control, so you're closer to your dream, but it's impossible to happen. And the world government won't allow it to happen. But as we know, the Joy Boy invented the third weapon, Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus. I thought the Joy Boy project was to realize his dream of making all continents one piece, and he didn't succeed in that, and Luffy is the one who will make this dream true.